Como esta, bitches? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Siren podcast. I have a really awesome show for you tonight. My guest tonight is the Mississippi Shakedown. So the Mississippi Shakedown, if you're not already familiar with them, is a duo, a rock duo that plays music, and they are based out of Hattiesburg. So they've been playing for, 10 years or more. Really great band. They play like a blues, garage rock type sound. Really awesome. It's just a guitar player and a drummer, and they do it all. Really badass. So we talk about some of their upcoming things that they're doing, maybe an album coming out, all kinds of good stuff. They're a really awesome couple of guys. So let's just jump right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mississippi Shakedown.
Getting warmed up.
All right, guys, we're live. Thanks for coming on the show. It's nice to meet y'all. I've seen y'all play a few times. Actually, me and my wife's first dates, we went to Mugshots, and this was probably 10 years ago. Wow. We went to, there was the old Mugshots on 4th Street.
Yeah.
And saw you guys play. I don't think you had a different drummer at that time. So
yeah, Zach and I weren't playing together at that time.
Yeah. So I've seen y'all a lot. I've actually
we had some wild nights at the old Mugshots.
Yeah. And it burnt down.
It was fun. They would always put us on the it was like Thursday night, college night.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter who was playing or not, that place was going to be packed. So it was always a blast.
Yeah, I went there a few times, but I haven't been to the new one yet. I hear they got good burgers. But
yeah, I've been a few times.
But still haven't made my way up there. As I was doing my pre-research for you guys, I was looking up Mississippi Shakedown. And apparently there's a Mississippi Shakedown in Australia or something.
Yeah,
and
that's what we hear.
I was looking to see if it was y'all or not, and it has your video, like a video of y'all playing on that.
Yeah, I think
page.
The internet's very confused.
Yes,
when it comes to the two, and that's exactly why we put a "the" in our name. So
okay.
We're the Mississippi Shakedown.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask if it was the or just Mississippi, but.
Yeah, a few years in, we had some people maybe mention it, or we found it online. Another band in Australia, and I think they were doing maybe blues covers or something. I'm not sure, but it was a trip. It was the middle-aged white guys wearing flamed button-down shirts.
Oh, totally!
I haven't really heard any music though.
Totally badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had people. Tell me, man, I found your band on iTunes. You guys are playing some really awesome stuff. And they would show me, I'm like, totally not.
That ain't us.
That's awesome, man. I didn't listen, so I don't know what they sound like. Are y'all guys on iTunes? I haven't actually looked to see if y'all are.
We're not. We don't have any recordings out right now.
Okay.
We've really just focused on playing live and hadn't had the opportunity or really the money to sit down and do it right.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So I've been doing this podcast. It's relatively new. And for some reason, I keep getting guests on named Chad, and you're like the fifth one. And here's the crazy part is, I had a guy named Chad Cox on. He was a rapper out of L.A. And then I had a guy named.
I think I follow him on Instagram, maybe.
Yeah.
I follow a lot of Chad Cox on Instagram, to be fair.
Just to keep up. But then I had another guy named Chad Edwards, and your name is Chad Edwards.
The photographer.
Yeah, so I've had Chad Edwards.
Get us confused.
Chad Edwards, Chad Cox, and then Chad Edwards Cox.
Chad Edward Cox.
Edward,
it's pretty much the same.
So I thought that was pretty crazy, and it wasn't intentional. I just kind of maybe that could be my thing. Just having Chads on, maybe the Chad podcast.
Right.
Your name's Chad. Come on, we'll talk. We'll do whatever. So.
All the Chads.
Yeah. I really dig your band. I like how it's a 2-piece. It's not over the top. It's real laid back. I guess you can consider it kind of laid back. I caught you guys, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago at downtown with Gator Fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It's pretty cool. I actually got some pictures of you guys, and I put it up.
Right on.
Yeah. So pretty good stuff.
I think I saw that. I didn't realize that was you. Thanks for doing that, man.
Oh, no problem. It's something I just like to do, so it's not a...
For sure.
Yeah, that was the first time we've been able to play for people since the pandemic and everything started, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually got to get out and play a couple shows here recently, and it's good. It's good to see people again. I've been talking with people through, this means, so getting out and... But at the same time, you're like, am I gonna die by going out? Like, what's what's gonna happen here?
Yeah. Crazy times, man. Crazy times.
It is too weird. It's almost too weird. Like, they lock us down, then everybody's like, nah, we're good, and then they're like, well, we're gonna lock you down again. Who knows? We might be going back. So, one thing about I heard that you use a bass amp too, since you don't have a bass guitar.
I do. So, yeah.
Can you kind of explain like what you're doing with that? With the
well, it's pretty basic. It was just trying to get a fuller sound and playing with some different pedals and stuff. So all I did was hook them together with kind of, I think they're called like an ABY switch, know, and makes it to where you can go back and forth. You can play them both together. You can mute them both, and just kind of simplifies it. And then I could focus on my guitar amp, focusing it strictly on the highs, and the bass amp strictly on the lows. As well, I just found like a much fuller sound, and at times with certain pedals, when you kind of take out all the highs, it can sound like there is a bass player, you know. But just, I think really just to be fuller, and now I really would be tough to play without it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I've never seen anybody else do that. Even in like, I don't know, maybe Jack White or something. I don't know what he does. I think he just uses an octave or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say he made, and possibly Dan Arbach as well. I'm not sure about their rig setups, but I would imagine they're doing something similar.
Yeah, that's cool. One of the reasons kind of why I have this whole I have a YouTube channel and a studio here. I don't know if y'all can see it, but I'm a gear nut. Like, that's, I love new guitars and pedals and all that stuff. So y'all had a very interesting rig. Even your, I guess that's a Dan Electro guitar you use, the main one. And is that a kill switch you got built into? It
is. Unfortunately, it hasn't been working for a little while. It started affecting my tone.
Yeah.
So I got to get a wizard to help me out a little bit. But Yeah, I put that in a few years back to when I started playing with octave pedals.
Mm-hmm.
So when I would get the really high octaves, it would start cutting it in and out with the kill switch. I don't know, it just almost felt like you were like scratching records, like a DJ
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. It's just fun idea. And I think I got that from Luther Dickinson had a Flying V that I saw him play at Bonnaroo, and he was doing something similar, and I think I got obsessed.
Yeah.
And years later, I was able to have a buddy help me. I think it was a doorbell that we put on there,
Wow.
actually. Yeah.
I didn't think figured it would have to be an actual made for that, but I
No,
guess it's
no,
just as
man.
long
We
as it's a on and off
right.
switch.
I think we bought the parts at a Walmart or something.
That's pretty crazy. What makes you want to play I mean, I'm sure there's a the reason is because it's a good guitar, but why? Like, what about that guitar specifically is?
I never really had a thing for those guitars specifically, but I happened to be in New Orleans Music Exchange years ago
Mm-hmm.
and saw it, and it was a really great price. Didn't buy it that day, and really just kind of couldn't sleep that night, and went back and bought it like first thing the next morning. And it's been really the only electric I've played ever since.
Yeah, that's good. With a guitar that you can't sleep over, you need to go get it if you can
and
afford
luckily
it.
My wife gave me, she was my girlfriend at the time, gave me her blessing, so I hauled ass back over there and bought it from the guy. But it didn't really help on the negotiating because he knew if I came back, I was sold.
Oh, he was like, "Yeah, it is what it is.
I got this guy."
Well, it's good because my wife is like, "You've got guitars. Why do you need another one?" You got.
Oh,
explain.
I get it all the time.
I got to explain. They're all different. How are they different?
Right.
I don't want to know why they're different. That's crazy. So that's an awesome guitar, and you have two snare drums. Are you using one as a tom, or do you just have two snares?
Yeah, I don't know why I like to use two snare drums, but I do. I've got two different snare drums that I will kind of rotate in and out. The one that I play the most that sits next to my hi-hat is just like a wooden snare drum. I think it's like 14 by 6 maybe. But then I will rotate out a micro snare. It was like a 10 by 5 maybe.
Wow.
And that or a little steel snare drum. And I just like to use those as snares and as toms. So I'll just turn the snares on or off depending on what song that we're playing. For some of the more surf rock tunes, I like to use that additional snare drum. But yeah, I just really dig the multiple snare thing. I'm thinking about turning my 16-inch floor tom into snare as well, just so it can have that option. I don't know why I like that, but I just think it's kind of cool.
Man, do that.
Yeah, I've been talking to a guy who owns a custom drum shop, and I think he's gonna do that for me. That'd
Man,
be cool.
That would be sick. See, what's weird is I was thinking about. I recently got a new kit, and it's got. I wanted a thinner high tom, so it can kind of fit over my kick drum instead of having to be to the left.
Yeah.
And the snare I have is thinner than the tom, and I was like, I wonder if I could just take the tom, like the bottom part of the snare, and put it on the tom. I was thinking about if I could do that today. It's weird that you were actually going to do that with like a floor tom, which is.
You could probably make that happen. You might have to like drill some holes in the tom to change the snare system over. It wouldn't be just as simple as taking off the bottom of
Yeah.
one and swapping it to the other. But that could work. I have some of the same kind of issues with putting toms above my bass drum. It just never has really felt comfortable to me to have a tom right there. But I think that has a lot to do with the drum set that I played on whenever I was first learning how to play drums. It was like a toy drum set that had the cymbal sticking straight up out of the bass drum. And so that has a lot to do with you can just be comfortable with my right hand hitting the cymbal right there. In fact, ideally, that's where my hi-hat would be. Like, I actually don't really like for it to be over here. I just haven't been able to get a
remote hi-hat set?
A remote hi-hat set yet, but yeah, that's on the to-do list.
Yeah, those are sick. I've thought about that too because I always hit my sticks together.
Yeah.
Especially if I try to do something quick, I just bang into the sticks, and that will drive you crazier than pretty much anything on a drum set.
For sure, yeah. I always say a prayer right before I play, and it's always the same. God, please don't let me drop my sticks.
Put some tape on, tape them to your hands.
Yeah.
I used to, because and the theory I had was I used to play just a single kick. I recently have been wanting to do double, so I can't play like this anymore. But I would take my floor tom and switch it, like butt it right up next to my snare, and then have my rack tom. So they're all pretty much touching in a triangle, and then I'd have my kick off to the right, and I could play everything a lot quicker. But you can't do that with a double. Well, not that I've found yet. So
right, yeah. I've spent a little bit of time trying to work out a double pedal, but I never really followed through with it, mostly because I've never been a part of playing any kind of music that really calls for it. But I also think that it's a little more fascinating for someone to be able to create the same kind of patterns and notes with just one pedal that I've seen some people do with two.
Do many like metal drummers play with one?
it's usually
not.
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't think so.
If I was playing metal music, then I might be more on to doing something like that. You know, just so I could do some. Yeah, I've always just stuck with the single pedal, but I'm a huge fan of moving my drums around in different ways to try and figure out what feels the most comfortable to me. I have this idea of the perfect setup in my head, but it takes a little bit of unorthodox approaches, you know, like maybe like only using the remote hi-hat, for example, and
it seems like you tweak it every few months.
I do. If I had more equipment, it would be
right.
often than that. I would play with a different setup every time.
That's what makes it interesting. Look,
we were doing big productions. You just have half the stage would be drums and cymbals.
You could just get some guy to do it.
Changing the drums up like that, you find out that there's different patterns that are easier to play, different rhythm structures based off of
your setup.
You configure the drums. So if I have the floor tom here and the floor tom here, I can, you know, do some stuff like that, and it just feels a little more comfortable rather than, you know, trying to do this.
Right.
So.
Well, I've always liked, and I saw this, one of my favorite drummers is Travis Barker from Blink-182, and he used to have a floor tom on his left and his right, and some of those fills you can go this way a lot easier than trying to go this way, or you can go, I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing, but this way with them. And I did that for a while when I had 2 floor toms. But so look, you were talking about a single pedal guy doing metal with it, and there's this guy, which is weird that you asked this again, that I recently discovered on YouTube, and I assume he's Italian or Spanish or something. He speaks what I presume is Spanish, and he just uses a single kick and a floor tom, and he released a video today or yesterday playing Laid to Rest by Lamb of God. If you've ever heard that song, it's a metal song and tons of double bass, but the whole purpose of the video was he was showing that you can do all that with a single pedal, and he did it somehow. Like 1 foot, it shows his foot doing it.
I think it's like a heel toe technique that a few guys practice a lot, and it can emulate a double kick pedal.
Yeah,
it's pretty wild.
It was.
I think you gotta keep your foot off the ground and just constantly going back and forth with that heel toe.
I mean, that's a lot of. His thighs and calves are probably this big.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're burning.
There's another guy who makes videos who has a pretty quick foot. I may pronounce the last name wrong, but I think it's Stan Bicknell. I think that's how you say it. He does some really cool drum beats, and he's got a really quick right foot. But I really do want to spend some extra time and learn that technique. I just have to do it, really. But it would be a cool thing to add to the repertoire. It seems like maybe it's one of those things like learning how to play the rolls. First, you just can't find that sweet spot of relaxation to get the diddles to bounce. And all of a sudden, one day, it just makes sense, and you can do it.
When you can relax and
and then you're able to progress through it.
Well, some of the stuff with double bass, and it kind of started off, well, to me, and how I kind of came around to it, it was all metal stuff. And a lot of bands now are using it to kind of fill in extra, parts. So, like, instead of it just
build
being
space,
like single notes, like they're following patterns with it, and it sounds really good. I don't know how the hell they can play all that stuff at once. Like they're playing a pattern here that's going with like a bass part, or like the rhythm part, and then they're keeping the rhythm with their hands. I think that sounds really good. It's almost like, I don't know if y'all have ever delved into like programming drums or using like Fruity Loop things, kind of DAWs and stuff. But essentially, you can just make crazy beats by just placing little, notes on a grid. And it sounds like people grew up doing that, and then they're like, well, now that we've made this song in Fruity Loops, we need to learn how to play it on the drums. And
how we're going to play it live.
And now they're like, well, we got to learn how to play it. And then it just turned into a whole style. That's my theory behind it. But instead of it just being singles. So I think double bass has evolved into just almost got to have it for some stuff, even if it's not metal.
Pull off a certain sound,
Yeah. I think the Mississippi Shakedown needs to get a full double bass set up, 2 bass drums, go straight up metal. Could you imagine?
Some roadies.
Imagine y'all show up to a show and Mississippi Shakedown after 10 years. Hey guys, Don't even tell them. Just show up and start playing metal.
Right.
That'd be sick.
I'm down.
Yeah, I'll try it.
You
I'll
heard
try
it.
for sure.
You heard it, guys. So yeah, not really though. But yeah, bands. Y'all's band's pretty good. What do y'all got next? Y'all got anything coming up? Any kind of big events or?
We really don't. We're just starting to pick up booking again when the pandemic hit, because Zach recently had a baby with his wife,
Oh,
so we kind of pulled back for a little while,
Thank you.
and all that went great. And so we had booked our first show, which was right when the pandemic hit and everything got shut down. So we didn't end up playing that show, and that was actually what was rebooked when we saw you at the shop with Gator Fight. That was kind of rescheduling that one. And now, with things just so uncertain and the numbers going up, and it feels like things are about to get shut down again, we're just kind of waiting. And if it does seem like it's going to be a while, I think we'll probably get back into doing some live streams from the house and things like that, just to let people know we're still alive and we're still trying to make some noise.
Yeah, I kind of like the live streams. I think the whole pandemic opened up this box, because most people would never have thought twice. A lot of bands would never be like, I want to do that, because they'd rather play live. Why wouldn't you? But then the pandemic was like, y'all still with me?
I think, why the hell weren't we live streaming all of our shows before this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for people that couldn't make it out to the bars,
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Like at least like.
Oh, okay.
I don't
froze
know.
Up for a second.
Yeah. But it opened up this whole can of worms.
I got you now.
And now I can check out bands that I've never seen live before, because
absolutely,
right.
They're online, and like maybe I was busy at 8:00 that night and I missed their set, but I can go back and watch it. And go
ahead.
Well, I was saying that the fact that it's just so easy, like everybody, 90% of people or more have a cell phone with some sort of app that they can stream with.
We're all on Instagram, everything, easy.
Yeah, I mean, and just set it up, and then you can watch it later. You can watch it in 10 years from now. Every show.
Absolutely.
You'd be like Fish. Like, you could
we should have been doing this the whole time.
Yes.
And we played a few bars. Like, I could think of one, I think it was Mercury Lounge in Tulsa. And they've been doing it for years through their website. So every band that plays there, you can go on their website and watch a live stream. And so they were really ahead of their time, I think, with that.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty rad. And even guys I've seen, Questlove, for up until the past couple of weeks, I think he stopped. But he went about 3 months straight, just going live every night for a few hours and DJing for people and kind of doing a little bit of like music history and mixing all kind of cool records. So, I mean, it was every single night. So it's pretty cool to see how creative people are getting during this time, And some people are probably getting reclusive and planning their next 10 albums, and I've been trying to do a lot of writing as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you can just sit around now and like, I've seen guys they'll go sit out in the yard and play the guitar, and like they don't even really talk. They're just jam around on the guitar. And that's some of that stuff where you can just turn your phone on and clean the house or something,
Sure. It's simplified things, I think, for everybody.
Yeah.
There's not this pressure of having to book a tour or do this or keep up with that, I think it kind of put everybody at a restart.
Yeah. And you don't have to carry and set up your drums.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. It's been super nice. Actually, just got done taking them all apart and about to do a little custom paint job on them. So it's been nice not to have to lug them around the shows and spend some time fixing them up.
Yeah,
aren't you getting into some online lessons?
Yeah, I've been able to start focusing again on just doing some practicing. And whenever me and Chad first started playing together, I just scrambled to learn the songs real quickly, and have basically just been riding by the wind on what parts I'm playing, and so I haven't up to this point been able to sit down and really think about musically what am I playing, and does it make the most sense, and some transition moments that I could probably take a closer look at.
How you want to express yourself.
Yeah, so I've been able to do some arranging on the parts that I've been playing, and getting some help and some guidance from some mentors that I studied with in the past, and that's going to help me a lot, I know, moving forward. Actually went and looked at a studio practice spot earlier today, hoping that'll work out. So yeah, it's a good time to take a step back and review what areas I want to improve on, so that it would just make everything better, really. That's kind of where my focus has been at. And then obviously been super busy changing diapers, man.
Dude,
Those two things.
I have an 18, well, he's about a year and a half. So I know all about the diapers and 3-hour naps that you get once a day, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that practice space will. I don't know if you play the drums at your house, but that's probably a lot better than playing at the house.
Oh yeah. Well, see, I live in an apartment, so I've got a practice pad that I put a blanket on top of, so that it hardly makes any noise. So, I know that companies like DW, they make that drum set practice pad thing, and I thought about getting that before, but I don't know if you've seen those quiet heads that Remo makes.
It's like mesh type stuff.
Yeah, those are super cool. I've actually owned one before, and I used to have that on a snare drum, and I'll practice on that. So once I get in that space, I will do a lot of practicing at full volume, so I can start to take a look at some things I've been wanting to focus on for a while, like the quality of sound I'm getting from the cymbals in particular, making sure that my touch on cymbals improves. That's something that I want to work on moving forward. But I'm looking forward to also trying some of those mesh heads out and get some good flows going around the kit. I like to work on exercises from this lesson site that I take from, and then just a few books that I've had from whenever I used to study at USM.
Yeah, that's cool.
All good stuff, man. All good stuff.
See, I kind of assumed. So I've played drums since I was very little, and probably a few years ago, 5. I just haven't had a place to set up a drum set, really. So I haven't got to play, but I'd play like the steering wheel drums back and forth from work. I was thinking, man, I got this.
Dude,
and then
my steering wheel is falling apart at the top. Like if I drive anywhere, when I get out the car, I'm like breaking off. Steering wheel.
I'm thinking, man, I got the double bass, put on cruise. I got the double bass. I got all that stuff. And I finally got a kit, and I sat down and I was like, it's not the same. It's not
way
moving this from here to here, and a real drum kit is completely different. I I'm so. I thought it was gonna be like riding a bike where you just get back on.
Yeah.
It is not like that. I'm having to relearn how to play drums again. I mean, mentally,
Yeah.
I still got it. Like, I know what to
Yeah,
do.
playing the actual drum is way different than playing on a pad. I mean, you can probably come up with some pretty cool stuff on a drum pad, but then try to do it on the drums, and it's not even close to the same. Ideally, if I had, in a perfect world, I would probably only practice on the drum set, just so I could get the most realistic experience, and I think that allows people to develop their sound quality in a way that they know how the drum is going to respond when they hit it in a specific spot, so you can't really find those things out unless you spend a lot of time on the drums. And so, yeah, I'll be looking forward to doing that in the studio space. I think the only time that I've really had the opportunity to sit down and play on the real drums a lot was whenever I was studying. We had some practice rooms that we could go in and be there all night if we chose to. And so that was really cool. And I learned a bunch of things during that time that have stuck with me. But it really is tough to move forward unless you get that consistent practice on the actual drum set.
Yeah, for sure. A swimmer, anybody that does anything professionally, you got to keep doing it.
Right.
Repetition.
But I will say, if you are playing drums in the car, it's a great opportunity for you to practice your left foot rhythm.
Because your gas?
Yes, because your right foot's always on the gas. So what I do, and one of my drummer friends taught me this, he said, just pretend that your left foot is the bass drum. So if you're playing along to the music on the radio, just use your left foot as the bass drum. And that actually does help.
Yeah. See, I thought that.
That's right.
When I went to go play it on my kick at home, I don't know if it's just I got a crappy kick or what, but it's still tough for me to do that. But look, here's what they need to invent. Speaking of drumming on steering wheels, could you imagine if they made little pads you could put on your steering wheel that would play like a drum kit sound through your speakers? Like you could have a cymbal and a snare in the middle.
You might be onto something.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how that would ever pass, just because of safety.
Oh, man, there's no way.
Dude, that is an amazing idea.
Dude, Tesla cars have Netflix and all that stuff. They just make
once auto drive gets advanced enough, maybe you're set.
You should actually probably send Elon Musk a message.
I'm sending that.
And give him that idea because if the car could drive itself, then
there was a Ford, I don't remember, Focus or something that had a Fender speaker system and it had a guitar.
Oh yeah, it had a quarter-inch jack.
Yeah,
right, like in the dash or something.
Yeah, they had John Mayer on the commercial. So you could put that in to that car, and y'all could drive around and practice. Social distance. Just roll the windows down and have.
And I think I would need the Converses. I think it was that came out that have a wah pedal inside of them.
Oh yeah,
and a quarter-inch in and out on each side. So you plug into the shoe. It's got an in and an out.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
I've not seen those.
I think it was like a Chuck Taylor or something like that with a wah pedal in it.
I'll put a picture on the screen somewhere. I can't tell.
Yes.
I'll put a picture somewhere. The Chuck Taylor wah. So I think we're on to something here. The mobile shakedown. It could be like a concert series. You just ride around downtown Hattiesburg, in a Ford Focus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just give me some. Just put my name at the bottom. Idea
Oh, we're down.
at the bottom. That's awesome. So you guys ever thought about getting a bass player? Or I can see how the dynamic would be a lot easier to be cohesive with two people and not have to worry, especially with matching notes. Because drums,
Right.
you don't have to match a note with anybody. You can play whatever you want, pretty much, essentially, kind of.
Mhm.
So no bassist or.
I mean, it's possible if things were to, pick up and kind of we were to get busier and or if we just were to kind of get bored with what we were doing and wanted to add a different element or a female virtuoso, who knows, one day. But right now I think just because of how small we're keeping things right now and with the times as well, it's if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And scheduling is a lot easier. It's like, hey,
Exactly.
are you available? And he's like, yes or no.
And I think that's why all this started. I just didn't know very many musicians, and it was easy for two people to drop everything and go play than it was for 4 to 7 people.
Yeah. The last band I was in, it was like you'd get everybody scheduled for 5, and then somebody'd be like, hey man, can we do it at 7? And then you're like,
right.
You call everybody, and then they're like, then one person of the other one's like, I can't do it, and you're just like, God.
Yeah, so booking shows and touring is one thing, and then you got, how the hell do you get together and practice and whatnot? So I really respect the guys that, really everybody that is able to pull it off with that many people in a group.
Yeah, it's tough, and everybody's got to like be on the same level playing wise, because I bet y'all can do a lot of improvisation.
Oh, yeah, no idea.
Sure. Yeah.
A lot easier than having to be like, hey, I'm about to hit an A here,
Right.
That's good. Maybe just stick without the bass player. Unless you maybe some guys just like links up with you, man. Sometimes you can.
Yeah, again, unless we
like
just
that.
meet somebody special that won't go away, or you never know. We're open to anything.
We've been trying to get him to leave, but he just keeps showing up to practice.
Exactly. We'll just throw a bass.
Fine, dude. Here's a bass.
Right.
So, where'd you get the name Mississippi Shakedown?
Gosh, I don't even remember. I think it was more about just wanting people to know where we were from.
Yeah.
And because of, Mississippi can be just such an anomaly in so many ways, just such an interesting place, and all these different things that we all know if we're from here, as well as I think being so into blues music at the time and still now, and this thing about juke joints and shakedown, and then also, just so many different meanings to the word shakedown and the ways you can look at it. And if you really know about Mississippi and some of our politics and things like that, we've been getting shook down for a long time. So I think it's just got multiple meanings, and those have even changed over the years, and it's just always seemed to make sense.
Yeah.
So, but honestly, I don't know. It just kind of stuck.
Yeah. I mean, it's a badass name. So
thank you, brother.
Yeah. It definitely, it is good to have somebody kind of not completely hate where they live.
Sure.
Yeah. Usually that's what you hear. Everybody's like, I'm trying to get out of here. I hate Mississippi.
Oh yeah.
Mississippi's not like the best at everything, but it's not the worst either,
right. And I think if more of our, people from here, they are in the creative world, and especially now with our generation, if more would stick around, it as special as it is, it would be just amazing what the scenes that would pop up well as the scenes that we have now. There's so many cool things going on in Jackson, Ocean Springs, Hattiesburg, some really rad towns.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of most of the blues people came from Mississippi.
Oh yeah,
the good ones, So I mean,
from north to south. Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool, man. So what's next for you guys? I guess I've already asked that question, haven't I?
Well, as far as playing live, we're just kind of waiting, and we want to get back out there and start booking again as soon as everybody feels safe.
Yeah.
And then we have a strong itch to put out our debut album together, Zach and I, and just something that we're really proud of. And I think we're just trying to figure out, how we want to put it together and how much money we're going to be able to invest in this, or maybe we can get some help, or even partially do some home recordings. And again, we started to test the waters in some of that, and then all this virus and everything took off, so that everything just kind of got halted, and we've just been going day to day. But now we're so deep into it, we can actually start seeing, okay, this is real. This may be a longer period of time than we think, so let's take advantage of this time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, definitely the way the home recording has turned. I don't know what y'all's theory is or beliefs on recording, but the way it is now, I mean, it's almost free to record.
Right, and that's why we're considering doing a lot of it at home.
Yeah. I have a show that I do probably once every 6 weeks or so, where I have it's kind of like a radio type show where I play local bands from around the area's songs. So if they have a new song out, and it's anybody, even if it's somebody that's not in a band that just wrote a song, I'll play it, as long as they send it in to me. And I had 2 of them on my last one, and they made them on their iPhone.
Yeah.
I mean, without anything.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, if the product is good, who cares how you got there,
And, when I started recording back in like the day, like old Windows computers, like big, huge Windows computers, it's nothing compared to just a basic free iPhone GarageBand recording app.
Sure.
Like the amount of quality you can get out of it.
Right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous what they can. It's kind of not fair.
Is that what most people are using, like on the iPhone or something like that, like a GarageBand kind of thing?
Yeah. So
the built-in microphones are that good?
It depends. It depends on what you want, how good you want it to sound.
They're probably plugging in a microphone as well.
But you can plug in. They make little like right now. I'm using an iRig to get my. It's an iRig. It turns your headphone into a 1/4-inch jack input.
Yeah.
I'm using that to get my actual computer stuff into my iPad to record everybody's video here. So my video switching app is on an iPad. When I've got a badass computer, but it's easier to do the iPad because I can just touch it, But GarageBand, and they make, I don't know how familiar y'all are with recording programs, but Cubase and Nuendo, kind of the higher pro level things you can get. They make a version of Cubase for iPad, and it's got full everything that the other one does. running on an iPad. It's ridiculous.
We've gotten a little lucky with the software because of my wife's job. She has to do a lot of designing and animated videos and doing some narrations for those.
Yeah.
So she has a subscription to the Creative Suite, which has Audition in it.
Yeah.
And she's pretty familiar with it, so she'll actually probably end up being the engineer on a lot of our recording. And thank goodness for her.
Yeah. That's awesome. I started on the. It used to be called Cool Edit before they turned it
Sure.
to Audition. That's what I started.
Right,
on.
right.
It's a good.
She's
program.
got really good. She's pretty efficient with it.
Yeah.
Which kind of came out of nowhere, and the little light bulb kind of went off. Like, I think we can use her.
Yes.
Now, what did you say the name of that audio software was?
It's Cubasis. The regular one is called Cubase, but the iPad version is Cubasis.
Okay.
And then GarageBand is free, and it's got, I don't know how many tracks, but you can do like, I don't know. I've never filled it. I don't ever use it, but I've had one of my friends will send me his GarageBand projects, and I'll move them over to I use Logic, which is like the big brother to that. And I'll transfer it over to my computer, and he's had like 20 tracks, 25 tracks. I mean, depending on how y'all record, y'all are so good and tight by yourself. Just mic everything up and play through it. It sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, and for a lot of the tracks, we're going to be going for a raw sound anyway, so we won't need a really polished recording,
Yeah. That's cool, man. I've seen,
We'll see how it comes out.
Yeah. I've seen some of the bands that you think aren't as like the Black Keys. They had I saw like their rig rundown, and you would think that he just has a guitar plugged into an amp and a fuzz pedal, kind of thing. And he was using 3 different cabs, 3 different
Sure.
like half stack, like old ass amps,
vintage amps, all kind of shit.
And he's got them mic'd like 3 different mics on each one, but it gets one signal out of it. He's not switching between them, so
right.
It looks like a simple setup, but that dude has meticulously planned out his tone, and the drummer does the same thing. He's like,
the luxury he had to do what the hell they want.
Yeah, he's like, this tom, I got this one tom off this kit, and the bottom head came off Ringo's.
Of course.
See,
and Patrick is hilarious.
Yeah, is that the drummer? I'm not.
Yes. Yeah, Pat Carney.
I saw where he was like, I didn't want to play drums, but no one else could play. So,
yeah, I think he was a guitarist.
Yeah, he was a guitar player, and they were like, no one else could do it, and I sat down and then just kind of.
And I've even heard some hip hop stuff that he's put out, and he's an interesting guy.
Yeah, yeah. They were on the Joe Rogan podcast. That's where he was talking.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, so they kind of talked about what they do, but those are pretty cool guys. They kind of broke into they're one of the. I don't know. I don't keep up too much with the main music scene, but like they kind of broke kind of the rules, and they were like a pop rock band or rap band, and they kind of, I guess they hit the top 40. I'm assuming they did. They were all over the place at least once or something.
I think some of those songs off of that Brothers album were pretty huge.
Yeah, they got big. It was just like boom, and I was like, oh, that's a real band on the radio. What the hell's going on here? I'm sure there's other ones, but yeah, those are interesting guys.
I'm excited for this pandemic to be over, man. So
yes,
for sure.
We can all just get back to a little bit of normal, but also super grateful to not be sick or be dealing with any of those serious.
I've heard of people. At first it was like no one had it, and which was good, probably because we were locked down is why no one had it. And then once we opened back up, I started knowing people, and it wasn't just like it wasn't like this guy from high school that I knew. It was like somebody I know and see all the time, And I was like, well, shit. And they would tell like stories of they're so weak they can't stand up. That's terrifying, like right here.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah,
sure.
It's not
nothing but sympathy from us to everybody that's going through this. It's I mean, it's just amazing how fast everything happened.
Yeah, just
and as well as on the other side of things too, with the racial movement that's happening and everything like that, this band has been influenced by black music, black culture in so many ways, and we're allies and we're full support of the change that's going on. And I think our generation is just trying to do things a different way. And I think we all need to use a little bit of compassion and sympathy, and especially those of us that feel like we've been spared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. That's always good. Shout out to
that. Sorry to get. But we brought up the virus and everything.
Man.
So
no, it's good.
Everything that's going on, man. It's times are changing.
Yeah, and in a good way, I think
Yeah. I've been proud of our generation these past few months and everything that's going on.
Yeah,
that's good. I
do feel like good things will come in the future. Because anytime in my personal life when I've gone through some type of hardship, usually on the other side, it ends up being a little bit brighter than it was before. So I imagine that once we can get through all this stuff safely and get back at it, then we'll all be a little more present and just thankful to be able to just be somewhere and enjoy the company of other friends,
Appreciate those little things.
Things we took for granted, when we could go do it any night of the week.
I used to be like, I'd get a night off and I'd be like, I could go out. I think I'm just going to stay,
right.
I'm going to stay at the house. Maybe I'll go out next weekend. And then now, kind of now you can go. I still haven't decided if we're supposed to be going out, but they're having shows.
People
are out. So
we're kind of in this weird limbo. I've been feeling the same way.
It's kind of like we're walking on the ice. How far out can we go before this whole thing collapses?
Right.
But I guess we'll see. And we still don't know if you get it, if you can get it again. No one's told us a definitive answer.
I think a lot of us just feel like our head is spinning and we just want some straight answers and how we can beat this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
it's tough to get them right now.
What I've been saying is, what I think is, we went through this, every time there's been a change in society. So we went into the Industrial Revolution and all these different ages where life changed, for us. Everybody had a farm and was growing this, or they were a blacksmith kind of thing. And then one day they're like, we have factories. And then they were putting
new normal.
Yeah, they were putting kids in there. They were putting, people working 24 hours a day, dying, whatever. And we just kind of had to figure out how to make that work. And I think with the connected technology days, everybody's kind of freaking out and going through growing pains, trying to figure out what's going on. And, you got different people on the internet saying this, and this person saying this, and they want the mask to not work because they don't want to wear them. So they have all this information that looks like
everything's
credible.
A conspiracy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they have the other side that's saying you have to do it or you're going to die. So there's so much information, you don't know who's right. We just haven't figured out how to handle this. Right now, I can pick up my phone and get the answer to anything in the world, pretty much, except for personal people's private things. But maybe I could.
You just some codes you have to decipher.
We got to figure out some codes, but we hadn't figured out that how to handle it yet. Maybe.
Yeah, man. And it's a global thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to figure, because one little thing. Everybody thought murder hornets were going to take over for a while. That's just
right.
What that's something that happens maybe not in America, but it's a common thing in the.
That went away quick. That thing went away quick.
Yeah, I guess they got them. They got some bunch of cans of Raid. Went
You
up
know,
to,
and absolutely. And it seems like with Americans, things aren't real until they're right in front of your face.
oh yeah,
It's easy for us to talk like that until it affects you. And that's why I think we do need to be careful and really have sympathy for everybody that's being affected by this stuff.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know how many years ago it was now, but there was a Ebola in America.
Sure.
Ebola makes you like bleed out of your skin and stuff. Like you
awful.
do die if you get Ebola. So that was here, and we kind of just, it's not happening. I guess
brush
it's the same
things
thing
under the rug. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's why whenever COVID started happening, everybody was kind of just. At first, we were like, nah. Just
Didn't take it serious.
Just
Yeah,
wash
didn't
your
know what it was.
hands.
Yeah.
I heard when it first started, all I
Just
heard
another
was
flu.
it's just the flu. Flu kills more
Yeah.
people.
Sure.
So
Still hear that.
you still
Yeah, we don't. Honestly, I don't know what to believe.
just kind of. Even if you do your research, it's hard to find out the right answers. But
Oh yeah, you just end up having sleepless nights and being more confused.
yeah, I mean, at first I was like, man, this really sucks. I don't want to go outside. Like going to, I remember I went into Lowe's right after it happened, and like I was sitting in line, and like there was people like right up next to me, and I was like, man, if I get COVID and die because I had to come in here and get some carpet or something,
Right.
is this carpet worth it for me?
These thoughts start creeping in your head. Yeah.
Now I mean, I guess you just wear a mask and I mean, I've worked through it.
I guess that's the least we could do.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully it's over soon. We can all get back to playing.
Yeah. Stay positive.
Yeah.
Hang in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to the CD. Y'all need to do that stat right now.
We're gonna try, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I swear. Give us. We're gonna make it happen.
Do it.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome. So where can everybody find information for y'all?
For the most part, your 3 social media sources: Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So we like to share everything on there when we're playing and whatnot. So again, it's going to be pretty slow right now, and if it looks like we're going back down on lockdown, we will start doing some live streams and stuff like that, and make sure that we stay in touch.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, is there any music online of y'all?
No, not right now. Other than you could probably find some things, some live performances, maybe on YouTube and stuff like that, that people have uploaded, but we don't have anything recorded. And our apologies for that, but again, stay tuned because we're going to try to do it right.
Multi-platinum album coming from the Mississippi Shakedown.
We don't care about all that. We just want you guys to like it.
Yeah.
Good. That's the way to do it, man. Well, I guess we can go ahead and wrap it up. I really appreciate you guys coming on. It was nice meeting y'all finally. I've seen y'all a few times. And,
hey, brother, it's a pleasure, man. And thanks for keeping up with us over the years. Yeah,
man. Awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. If y'all ever want to come back on, if y'all release the CD and want to come show it off or whatever.
Hey, we'll give you, like you said, on your radio show, maybe we can give you a sneak peek when we get a song done.
Yeah, for sure, man. Just send it over and I'll play it.
You got it, brother.
Thank you very much.
Hey, right, Zach, it was good to see you, brother.
Yeah, it was good to see you too, man. Good to see you too. I'm hanging out in my 8-year-old daughter's room right now. I had the curtains lifted up. You can see the trees in the background, but now see
I saw them earlier.
And there's just like pink sheets. You see them right there? Yes. Yeah, and there's also her little pink balloon dog.
Wow.
So yes. We got a birthday party coming up.
I had a boy, so I get to play with Legos and race cars, which is not fun, and I'm being sarcastic because who doesn't like playing with Hot Wheels?
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Y'all take it easy, and I'll hopefully see you around soon.
All right, man. We appreciate you, dude. Thanks so much.
Yeah. See you guys.
Good night.
Peace out.